If you've been feeling something different, Latelia's subtle yet profound shift in the way you perceive the world, the way you react to situations, and the way you feel about your own existence, pay very close attention, because what I'm about to share may explain exactly what is happening to you right now. There is a quiet transformation taking place within you, a silent energetic elevation that is recalibrating your entire being. Most people fail to recognize these signs when they appear, because we've been conditioned to expect change to be loud, dramatic, and obvious. But the most powerful transformations don't happen in grand moments. They happen in the small, everyday choices, in the pauses, in the decisions you make when no one is watching. Your vibration is rising. And this isn't just a poetic phrase or an abstract spiritual concept of the tangible reality that expresses itself through your nervous system, your emotions, your thoughts, and especially your behavior. When your energetic frequency begins to elevate, you don't become a completely different person overnight. Instead, something within you starts operating differently, as if an internal software update has occurred, and now you're processing reality through an entirely new lens. And here is what many people don't understand. This process doesn't happen because you read a book or watched an inspiring video. It happens because your soul is ready to expand, because you've done the inner work, because you've faced your shadows, and now you're emerging as a more aligned, more conscious version of yourself. The first thing you begin to notice when your vibration is rising is that you pause before responding. This may sound simple, but it's revolutionary. Think about how many times in your life you reacted instantly, spoke in the heat of the moment, or made impulsive decisions you later regretted. When your energy is at a lower frequency, you operate on autopilot. You're like a boat without a rudder, tossed back and forth by external circumstances, other people's opinions, and your own unprocessed emotions. But when your vibration starts to rise, something magical happens. You gain space between stimulus and response. Someone criticizes you, and instead of immediately reacting, you take a breath and observe the emotion arising within you. Someone provokes you, and instead of engaging automatically, you consciously choose how or whether you want to respond. This space, the sacred pause, is the difference between living on autopilot and living with mastery. It's within this space that your true freedom lives. Because when you can observe your emotions without being completely ruled by them, when you can witness your thoughts without fully identifying with them, you stop being a victim of circumstances and become a conscious creator of your reality. And this shift doesn't happen because you're forcing yourself to be more patient or more zen. It happens naturally because your nervous system is regulating, because your awareness is expanding, because you're literally vibrating at a different frequency. You realize you no longer need to prove anything to anyone. You no longer need to have the last word. You no longer feel compelled to react to every provocation. You discover the immense power that comes from consciously choosing how you show up in the world, and that discovery changes everything. Then comes a second sign, which may feel even strange. You begin to lose your sense of urgency. We live in a society obsessed with speed, productivity, and the belief that if you're not constantly rushing, you're falling behind. But as your vibration rises, you begin to question this narrative. You start to see that constant urgency is a symptom of disconnection. It's what happens when you're trying to reach something outside of yourself to feel complete, when you're trying to prove your worth through achievement, when you believe peace lives in the next goal, the next milestone, the next success. But here is the truth. No one likes to hear peace is never in the future. It only exists here and now, in this present moment. And when your energy elevates, you don't just understand this intellectually, you feel in your body. You begin to realize that rushing doesn't make things better, that forcing situations creates resistance, and that trying to control every detail is often fear disguised as efficiency. So you begin to relax, not in the sense of becoming lazy or unmotivated, but in the sense of trusting divine timing. You still act, you still create, you still move toward your dreams. But now you do it from a place of alignment rather than desperation. You understand that the right things unfold at the right time, that you don't need to force doors that aren't ready to open, and that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is plant the seeds and trust the process. This doesn't mean becoming passive or complacent. It means learning to distinguish inspired action from fear-based action. Inspired action flows and feels natural. It energizes you even when it's challenging. Fear-based action is exhausting, frantic, and carries a constant feeling of chasing something you never quite reach. When you release urgency, you often find you accomplish more by doing less, because now you're doing the right things for the right reasons at the right time. The third sign is deep and often misunderstood. You naturally begin to pull away from people and situations that no longer resonate with you. This can feel confusing because we're taught to value loyalty above all else to maintain relationships, even when they drain us, to feel guilty for setting boundaries. But as your vibration rises, you realize that protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's wise. You start to notice that certain conversations leave you feeling depleted, certain environments make you anxious, and certain people consistently bring drama and negativity into your life. And instead of forcing yourself to endure these situations out of politeness or obligation, you begin to gently step back. You don't need dramatic confrontations or grand announcements. You simply become more intentional about where you place your attention and energy. And here is something interesting when you do this. When you begin honoring your energy, some people naturally fall away from your life and others begin to appear. Those who are vibrating at a similar frequency start showing up, almost as if the universe is orchestrating synchronistic encounters. Conversations become deeper. Relationships become more authentic. You no longer feel the need to wear masks or pretend to be someone you're not. This happens because as you elevate vibrationally, you become a magnet for experiences and people align with who you truly are. You're not rejecting anyone, you're simply recognizing that not everyone needs to have a permanent place in your life, and that it's okay to let go of what no longer supports your growth. It's like cleaning out a closet. You don't hate the old clothes, you just acknowledge they no longer fit, and you make space for something new. Then we arrive at the fourth sign, which may be the most counterintuitive of all. You begin to see interruptions as guidance. Think about how many times you felt frustrated when things didn't go according to plan, when you missed the bus, when a meeting was canceled, when an opportunity fell through. Most of us have been conditioned to see these moments as obstacles, inconveniences, or signs of bad luck. But as your vibration rises, your perception shifts. You begin to trust that everything is unfolding in your favor, even when it doesn't make sense in the moment. That delay that caused you to miss an appointment may have protected you from an accident. That job you didn't get may have cleared space for something better. That person who rejected you may have freed you to meet someone truly aligned with you. Operating at a higher frequency means understanding that you don't always see the full picture, that your limited perspective can't account for all the variables the universe is balancing. So instead of resisting interruptions, you become curious about them. You ask yourself, what is this situation trying to show me? Where is this change in plans guiding me? What lesson is available here? This shift in perspective transforms your entire life experience. You stop fighting the current and learn to move with it. You stop trying to control every detail and learn to dance with uncertainty. You stop seeing life as something happening to you and begin seeing it as something happening for you. And when that shift happens, something extraordinary occurs. You realize you've always been exactly where you needed to be, learning exactly what you needed to learn, growing exactly the way you were meant to grow. The fifth and final sign is the most subtle, yet perhaps the most transformative. You develop deep compassion for past versions of yourself and for others. When your vibration is low, it's easy to fall into judgment, both self-judgment and judgment of others. You criticize yourself for past mistakes, blame yourself for not knowing then what you know now, and judge others without considering their journeys. But as your energy rises, you begin seeing everything through the lens of compassion. You look at the version of yourself that made poor choices, and instead of shame, you feel tenderness because you understand that you were doing the best you could with the awareness and tools you had at the time. You look at the people who hurt you, and instead of resentment, you recognize that they, too, were acting from their own wounds and limitations. This doesn't mean tolerating abusive behavior or allowing others to cross your boundaries. It means you can hold firm boundaries while keeping an open heart. You understand that hurt people, that negative behavior often stems from unprocessed pain, and that judgment creates separation while compassion creates connection. As this compassion deepens, you release a tremendous amount of emotional weight. You stop wasting energy on anger, resentment, revenge, or validation. You see things as they are, accept what was, and consciously choose how to move forward. And this freedom, this lightness, one of the greatest gifts of vibrational elevation. Now, If you recognize yourself in any of these signs, or if you felt a chill of recognition as I describe these changes, know that you're on the right path. Your vibration is rising not because you're trying to become someone else, but because you're becoming more of who you truly are, more aligned with your truth, more connected to the wisdom of your soul. This journey isn't linear. There will be days when you feel deeply aligned and days when it feels like you've regressed. But every step, every insight, every moment of expanded awareness is leading you toward a higher version of yourself. You don't need to rush or force anything. Just keep doing the inner work. Keep choosing awareness over autopilot. Keep honoring your truth, even when it's uncomfortable. As you do, you'll notice your outer world beginning to reflect your inner reality. Situations that once caused stress start resolving themselves. People who brought drama begin to fade away. Opportunities aligned with your purpose begin to appear. Not because you're forcing or manipulating anything, but because you're vibrating at a frequency that naturally attracts matching experiences. If you've made it this far, if you've listened or read to this point, it's because your soul was ready for this message. Something within you recognizes these truths. You are on the path of expansion and conscious growth. And I want you to know you're not alone. Millions of people around the world are experiencing the same awakening, the same vibrational shift. We are all connected, all part of a collective elevation of consciousness. Every time you choose peace over conflict, compassion over judgment, trust over control, you contribute not only to your own evolution, but to the healing of the world. So leave a comment below sharing which of these 5 signs resonated most with you and what changes you've been noticing in your own life. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today to feel less alone. And if this message touched you, if it arrived at the perfect moment, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. We'll continue exploring these paths of expansion, growth, and conscious awakening together. And don't forget to like this video so this message can reach others who are ready to understand what's happening to them. Because the more awakened and conscious people there are in this world, the faster we create the reality we all deserve. Remember, you are not changing by accident. You are evolving by choice. Every step you take in this direction is a victory for your soul and a contribution to humanity. Keep shining. Keep growing. Keep trusting the process because the best is still yet to come. Is this conversation helpful so far?